Mr. Michael Tego, a
Hello.
youth programs officer. Mr. Tego,
Yes.
Bacho Akwaba.
Pacho Mejoso.
You didn't come out for teenage pregnancy, and I know say PPAG there. About the science and same way, a lot of it falls within your domain. We are
Yes.
seeing numbers that are frightening. We are seeing numbers that are scary. Can you give us a sense the actions you've been taking, and yet we are seeing this spike?
The actions that PPAG has taken. Okay, so PPAG basically is in to complement the efforts of government. So PPAG does not have the same resources as Ghana Health Service or Ministry of Health. So we are just in to help, to assist what government is already doing. So for us as an NGO, our contribution in the fight against adolescent pregnancy, and probably let me clarify this before I move on. We keep using the word teenage pregnancy, but in reality, it is not the case. Technically, if we are talking about teenage pregnancy, it is from those who are 13 up to 19 years who got pregnant or who are pregnant. Right now, menstruation or menarche has gone down a bit as compared to the past. So now it is possible to find someone who is 8 years who is menstruating, someone who is 9 years who is menstruating. And once you start menstruating, what it means is that you are capable of getting pregnant if you should have sex with someone who is active, a male who is actively producing sperms. And so it is not so appropriate or technically right to refer to all the pregnancies as teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
Because even the figures that came out, you realize that there were about 2,000 plus that belong to those within the age of 10 to 14 years. So the 10, 11, 12 are not teenagers, but it's also embedded in a teenage pregnancy. So technically, it is more right to call it adolescent pregnancy. So if I mention adolescent pregnancy, then I'm referring to what everybody probably all refer to as teenage pregnancy. So it will be able to capture those who are 10, 11, and 12.
Before you
So,
proceed,
okay.
give us a bit of education because I heard Raymond rightly address them as adolescent, pregnancy. But explain for us, teenage pregnancy, the teens, right?
Yes.
That's supposed to be for those who are within the teens, right?
Yes.
And the adolescent, so explain for us the teenager and then the adolescent.
So an adolescent is someone who is from 10 to 19 years. And teenager is someone who is from 13, 14. So all the ages you hear teen. If someone should get pregnant within that age group, then it is referred to as teenage pregnancy. So you got pregnant during your teen ages.
Okay.
But adolescent is from 10 to 19. So teenage pregnancy does not include those who got pregnant 10, 11, 12, or 9 or 8.
So they are a subset of adolescents.
Exactly. So if you use the word adolescent pregnancy, then it covers those from 10 up to 19 perfectly.
That's fine. We've got the understanding now. Now, let's proceed to your core mandate as PPAG and how it fits into the conversation. What's your core mandate?
Our core mandate is to provide sexual and reproductive health education and services for all people in Ghana, especially the young and the vulnerable. So that is our core mandate in Ghana. And in respect to the issue and a discussion, which is teenage pregnancy or adolescent pregnancy, we have been providing services, clinical services. So we have clinics across the country where we provide reproductive health services, which includes the uptake of family planning or contraceptives. Now, apart from our static clinics that we have where people come in to take up services, we also select communities that teenage pregnancy is rampant or common in those communities, and we pack our things and move there. So we have mobile outreach clinics that we operate within communities that we believe that pregnancy rate is going up, so that we will also be able to reduce it. Now, the unfortunate aspect of it, even though a lot of people, when we move out, because when we move out, we don't take money, it is free. So we provide the services for free so that people will not make any excuse to say that I don't have money for the services, and so that's why I got pregnant and so on. So when we move out to those communities where it is common, we provide the services for free, and we are able to provide a lot to people, especially young people. The only challenge that we keep seeing has to do with the perception that people have as far as contraceptives or family planning is concerned, which makes it difficult for those people to take up the services. So you realize that even though they are scared of family planning because of the things that they have heard from friends and other people, they are still sexually active. So they are sexually actively having sex, but they are not protecting themselves because they are scared of the things, misconceptions that they have heard. And so these people, what it means is that their chances of getting pregnant is very high. So that also contributes. But in terms of our contribution, family planning is one. Again, we also encourage, especially when we move to the schools, we also encourage those who are already abstaining from sex to continue to abstain from sex, because abstinence is also one of the strategies in preventing adolescent pregnancy or unintended pregnancy.
Now, so far, whilst we started the conversation, I see the focus is on the adolescents and the education you are offering them. But these adolescents...
because we are talking about adolescent pregnancy.
Indeed. But these adolescents spend a lot of time with their parents. And these parents, most of them, may not even have an understanding how to approach a conversation about sex education. In that respect, are we not getting the direction of the education wrong?
First of all, it is not so right that a lot of parents spend time with their children. It is rather not the case. Now, because of the economic situation, a lot of parents are rather on the move, because if you spend much time in the house, then it's another issue altogether. So there are some parents, a lot of parents, especially market women, and if you look at even that population is huge. You go to the market very early, so you leave the house very, very early. And even those who are even working, if you take Accra, for instance, for fear of traffic, you have to leave the house at dawn. Sometimes at that time, the children are even asleep. And then you go to work and you come back very late, again because of traffic. Some parents even have to stay back at work, even though they've closed, but they have to stay back to avoid the traffic. So they leave the office very late so that they can easily move without traffic. So by the time they get home, their children may even be asleep. So the care is actually done by house helps or other guardians who probably would not be able to guide the child as the parents may do. And so that is also a gap. Even where the families are together in the same house or even the same room, again, technology has created a distance between families. The use of social media and other technologies have also created that gap between families. So you can find a family unit in the same roof, under the same roof or in the same room, and everybody is on a phone. Everybody, this one is on Facebook, this one is on Instagram, this one. And so there's no conversation. There's nothing bringing them together, but rather putting them apart from each other. So that conversation is not there. Again, there are a lot of parents of today. If I should ask you or any other person you know who is grown up, and you ask the person, when you were younger, were your parents educating you, talking to you about sex and sexuality? The answer is most likely to be no. And so a lot of parents today did not go through anything like that. And so they don't know the how. They have no idea how to start, what to do, and does not even attach a lot of importance to it. And so it is not done. A lot of adults do not have the education. A lot of adults do not even know how. Those who even want to do that, they don't even know how to go about it.
Right,
so
but
that's a challenge.
But you do agree with me that if we are able to get to these adults, the issue of educating these adolescents, which you already admit, for instance, your organization, PPAG, is not that much endowed financially, the conversation would be much different if we're able to get to these parents, right?
It will contribute in making it better. It will contribute, but it will not entirely solve the situation. Because in dealing with adolescent pregnancy, we have to take a multi-sectorial approach. It does not lie just in the hands of parents, because like I indicated earlier, if you look at the time that children spend with their parents in this modern Ghana, it is limited. It is limited. Those who go to school will spend more time with the teachers, more time with their friends in school. So if the parents are informed or educated, yes, it will help. But then we also need to look at other areas where they find themselves and spend more time, so that the education can continue over there. And that way we'll also be able to comprehensively address the issue. So not just the school, even the churches, the mosque, the education must be done there, because young people, they are very adventurous. They want to explore. So if the education is just from one angle, it will not help. It has to come from all angles.
We used to see on our television when we were kids the advert ABC, abstain and all of those things. Is it about time we resuscitated that campaign as a country?
Well, in terms of media campaign, probably yes, we need to go back and let that be more. I don't know if you remember Akola Okoin Miko School. That I think it was a Zingaro production.
Yeah.
That was also there. There were a lot of such adverts which were reinforcing the messages that will come from the parents, reinforcing the messages that will come from the teachers, the pastors, the imam, the sheikhs, and so on. But like you rightly pointed out, it's gone down. So from the media perspective, yes, we need to go back to it. But in terms of Ghana Health Service, in terms of CSOs who are into health, on the ground, we are doing our best in terms of reaching out to people with education and information. So that is happening. But again, we need the media to reinforce, to strengthen and stamp on some of these messages to register in their minds. So if you're able to do that, yes, it will help.
But are we treating this issue of adolescent pregnancy with the seriousness it requires?
From my point of view, I wouldn't say it so. I wouldn't say that we are really taking it seriously. Perhaps when figures comes out, say 10,000, 200,000, 100,000 people got pregnant. As Ghanaians, and I'm not too old, but for all the years I've spent in Ghana, we would talk aggressively about those issues probably for a week, maximum 2 weeks, and then we all go to bed and pretend it never happened. That is how I see it.
Maybe
there are a lot of issues that we've swept under the carpet, which came and everybody, the whole country was talking about it. But after a week or two, another issue will come and then we'll forget the other issue and we'll pick that issue and be running with it till another issue comes and then we move. You understand? So some few weeks ago, we were talking about Ikuapim Polo. Then another week, we'll be talking about something else. That is how we keep jumping from issues. We don't really deal with issues and move on to another. That's not how I see it as a country. So that's quite worrying.
Could it be we don't have an appreciation of the danger that adolescent pregnancy, could cause for us as a nation? Is there a danger at all?
I think that we behave like ostriches. The reason why I'm saying so is that look at the figures that came out.
Yeah.
Hundreds of, and I need to even clarify this. The figures that came out is not a true reflection of the reality.
Oh, really?
It is not at all. In reality, the pregnancy among adolescents is far more than what is recorded. So what is recorded are people who got pregnant, adolescents who got pregnant and went to health facility, probably government facilities, and it was recorded. But from where I work, I know that a lot of adolescents will not take their pregnancy to the health facilities for it to be counted. So there are a lot of adolescents who have gotten pregnant before but have not delivered before. A lot of adolescents have gotten pregnant before but they have not delivered before, meaning that the pregnancy went somewhere. And I'm talking about abortion. And unfortunately, most of them end up doing the unsafe abortion, and that contributes to maternal mortality in the country. So the issue is very broad, very complicated, and like you said, if we don't come together as a country to take the issue on, then every year we'll be singing the same song every year. I'm sure last year it became an issue. We slept on it till this year. It has come up again, and we are talking about it. Some few days we'll stop talking about it and wait to 2022, and we'll talk about it again.
I'm grateful, my brother, that you made time to join us this morning and for the insights you provided for the conversation we are having this morning. And that's Michael Tego, who is a youth programs officer with PPAG Central Region, sharing, his insights with us about the, hydra-headed issue of adolescent pregnancy.